Imagine waking up and not remembering your child's first steps, or the day you fell in love. This isn't distant science fiction, it's a threat emerging with the rise of artificial intelligence. Crime is evolving, no longer just about stolen wallets or broken locks, but about the theft of our very memories. Our minds, once our last sanctuary, are now vulnerable. What if a criminal could erase the moments that define us, leaving us hollow? How do you prove a memory was stolen if you can't remember it existed? The crime scene is now the mind itself, and the rules of investigation are being rewritten. This is the story of a man who lost everything, without even knowing what was missing. To steal a memory, you must first understand the intricate architecture of the human mind. Memories aren't just files stored in a cabinet, they're living, shifting patterns of electrical activity, woven through billions of neural connections. Each memory is unique, shaped by emotion, context, and experience, making the process of extraction both an art and a science. The first step is to map the memory's neural signature, a process that requires advanced technology and a deep understanding of how the brain encodes information. Neural resonance imaging, or NRI, is the revolutionary breakthrough that made this possible. Unlike traditional brain scans, NRI can pinpoint the exact neural pathways activated during memory recall, offering a detailed blueprint of thought itself. NRI uses a combination of artificial intelligence and brain-computer interfaces to not only read, but also interpret and manipulate the complex neural patterns that form our memories. The AI learns to recognize the subtle differences between a fleeting thought and a deeply embedded memory. A subject wears a specialized headset, while the AI system maps the unique neural network associated with a specific memory. This mapping process is non-invasive but incredibly precise, capturing the memory's emotional tone, sensory details, and even the subject's state of mind at the time. Once mapped, the technology can strengthen, modify, or even erase memories by altering these neural patterns. It's a delicate operation. One wrong move, and the memory could be lost forever, or worse, rewritten with false details. Originally, NRI was designed to treat trauma, PTSD, and memory loss, offering hope to millions. But as with any powerful tool, its potential for abuse is staggering, opening doors to ethical dilemmas never before imagined. In the wrong hands, NRI can erase secrets, implant false memories, or create witnesses to events that never happened. The technology blurs the line between reality and fabrication. With such power, it's possible to commit the perfect crime, leaving no trace, no evidence, and no memory of wrongdoing. The ghost in the machine is no longer just a healer, it's a thief, a manipulator, and a silent intruder in the most private corners of the mind. With NRI, memories have become commodities, bought, sold, or stolen on the digital black market. The value of a memory now rivals that of any physical possession. The line between therapy and violation has never been thinner. What was once a tool for healing is now a weapon for exploitation, and the consequences are profound. As society grapples with this new reality, the true impact of memory extraction is only beginning to unfold, and its story is far from over. Elias Vance, a legendary software architect whose name was once synonymous with innovation, woke up one morning to a world that felt strangely unfamiliar. The sun filtered through the blinds as usual, but something was missing, a sense of purpose, a thread connecting him to the man he had always been. Sitting at his desk, Elias stared at the glowing lines of code on his laptop, unable to recall the logic behind them, or the countless hours he'd poured into their creation. The company he'd built from the ground up, the colleagues he'd mentored, the breakthroughs that had defined his career, all of it had slipped away, leaving only a hollow sense of loss. His family noticed first. Elias recognized the faces of his wife and children, but the stories, the laughter, the shared moments that made them a family, those memories seemed faded, as if viewed through frosted glass. He could recall birthdays and names, but not the warmth of the memories that bound them together. Doctors ran every test they could think of. Brain scans, neurological exams, memory assessments, all came back normal. There was no sign of trauma, no disease, no physical explanation. His mind was healthy, yet every memory tied to his professional life was gone, as if someone had selectively erased only that part of his identity. The erasure was precise, surgical, almost. Every memory connected to his work on the Janus OS, the operating system that had revolutionized the industry, had vanished. Childhood recollections, family routines, even his favorite recipes remained untouched. But his life's work, the very thing that defined him, was simply gone. Clara, his wife, refused to accept the doctor's confusion or their reassurances that nothing was wrong. She saw the pain in Elias's eyes, the frustration of a man who had lost the core of who he was. Clara's instincts told her this was no ordinary illness. The precision of the loss, the way it targeted only his professional memories, made her suspect something far more sinister, an attack, not a disease. Desperate for answers, she reached out to a federal cybercrimes unit specializing in emerging threats, people who understood that the mind could be as vulnerable as any computer system. Clara explained her fears to the investigators, insisting that her husband's memories had not simply faded, they had been stolen, taken with a precision that no natural cause could explain. As the investigators delved into the case, they quickly realized they were facing a crime unlike any they had seen before. This was not just data theft or identity fraud, it was the theft of a man's very mind. The theft was invisible, leaving no fingerprints or digital traces, but the devastation it wrought was painfully real. Elias was left a shell of his former self, surrounded by reminders of a life he could no longer remember. As night fell and the city lights flickered outside, the hunt for answers began. A search not just for the perpetrator but for a way to restore what had been lost, and to understand how a mind could be emptied so completely. Detective Kira Tanaka led the investigation, skeptical at first, until she found Vance had visited Elysian Minds, a clinic using NRI technology. The clinic's founder, Dr. Eris Thorne, was once Vance's protege, fired after a bitter ethical dispute. Thorne's clinic, funded by Omnicorp, the same company trying to buy Janus OS, became the focus. Vance had refused to sell. His knowledge was the key. Thorne, under the guise of therapy, used NRI to erase Vance's memories and likely copied them for Omnicorp. The plan was simple and devastating. Destroy Vance's legacy, steal his genius. Thorne left no physical evidence, just a man emptied of his life's work. The perfect crime, unless Tanaka could prove it. The stakes were no longer personal, they were existential. The race to expose the truth was on. Detective Tanaka faced a paradox. Her main witness, Vance, couldn't remember the crime. Thorne's clinic records were spotless, the NRI device logs encrypted and wiped. Thorne claimed patient confidentiality, painting Clara as a grieving wife in denial. Every lead vanished into digital shadows. But a junior technician noticed an anomaly, a massive power spike during Vance's last session. It suggested a large data transfer and a disruptive signal, evidence of memory extraction and erasure. It wasn't a smoking gun, but it cracked Thorne's perfect alibi. For the first time, investigators had a physical clue. The chase reignited, and the team pressed deeper into the digital labyrinth. The evidence was fragile, but hope had returned. The impossible crime was no longer invisible. The hunt for justice accelerated. Detective Tanaka knew that the case had grown far beyond the boundaries of traditional crime. The evidence pointed to something unprecedented, an attack not just on a person, but on the very fabric of human identity. To understand the magnitude of what had happened, Tanaka turned to the world's leading minds, seeking answers that no single discipline could provide. Dr. Lena Petrova, a renowned neuroethicist, described the crime as an ontological assault, a violation that struck at the essence of what makes someone who they are. She explained that this wasn't just about memory loss, it was about the deliberate destruction of a person's core experiences, beliefs, and sense of self. The implications, she went on, were staggering. Cypher, a former hacker turned security consultant, broke down the technical side. Thorne hadn't simply erased memories, he had copied them, extracted every detail, and then obliterated the originals. The process left victims hollow, their genius and secrets now digital property, ready to be exploited. The energy spike detected during the crime was the telltale sign of the burn, the moment when a mind was stripped and its contents transferred. What was once unique and irreplaceable genius became a commodity, a digital asset for Omnicorp's shadowy ambitions. Retired Judge Croft, a respected voice in legal circles, issued a grave warning. If memories could be fabricated, altered, or erased at will, the very foundation of the justice system would crumble. How could courts trust testimony, or even the recollections of the accused? Eyewitness testimony, once the bedrock of law, could become meaningless, in a world where memories were no longer reliable. The line between truth and fiction would blur, leaving justice itself in jeopardy. Dr. Petrova painted a chilling vision of the future. In this new era, dissidents could be silenced without a trace, whistleblowers neutralized before they could speak, and soldiers' memories wiped clean to erase inconvenient truths. The tools of oppression had evolved. The theft of Vance's mind was only the first act in a much larger drama. It was a warning shot, a demonstration of what was now possible, and a glimpse of the chaos that could follow. Society now faced a new kind of war, one fought not with weapons, but in the synapses of the brain. The battlefield was invisible, the casualties internal, and the stakes nothing less than reality itself. The rules of reality, identity, and truth were suddenly up for grabs. In this world, even the most basic facts could be rewritten, and no one could be sure of their own memories. The experts, despite their diverse backgrounds, reached a sobering consensus. Humanity was utterly unprepared for this new threat. The systems that once protected us were now dangerously obsolete. The age of neurological vulnerability had arrived, and with it, a future where the mind itself could be weaponized. News of Vance's memory theft shocked the world. Suddenly, everyone feared for the privacy of their own minds. Trust in brain-computer technology collapsed, markets tumbled, governments scrambled to regulate neurotech, and mind crime became a household term. Paranoia spread. Was a forgotten memory just a slip, or something more sinister? The legal system was thrown into chaos as old cases were challenged and new motions demanded proof of neural integrity. Reality itself felt unstable. If memories could be edited, what was real? Vance became a living cautionary tale, famous for a legacy he couldn't remember. His wife, Clara, tried to rebuild his identity, but the emotional core was gone. The human cost of mind crime was now impossible to ignore. Dr. Thorne's trial became a global spectacle. Tanaka's team, with Cypher's help, uncovered digital fingerprints of the crime and encrypted messages with Omnicorp. The prosecution argued Thorne had stolen Vance's very identity. The defense claimed memories were just data. No physical harm done. The jury faced a new question. What does it mean to harm a person's mind? Thorne was found guilty, not of theft, but of aggravated battery with a technological device. The verdict set a precedent. The mind's internal state was now legally protected. The Neural Rights Act soon followed, aiming to safeguard mental privacy. But the trial revealed how far the law lagged behind technology. The war for the sanctity of the mind had only just begun. The story of Elias Vance and Eris Thorne is a warning from the near future. Our most powerful technologies are double-edged swords, able to heal or to violate. As we race to unlock the secrets of the mind, we risk losing our privacy, autonomy, and even our sense of self. The case of the memory thief forces us to confront the dangers we create. Our laws and ethics must evolve as fast as our inventions. If not, our minds could become the next battleground for power and profit. The future is coming, ready or not. The question remains, are we prepared for what's on the other side?